Okay, guys. Now, welcome to the weekly strategy session. Actually, just reminds me we do have a webinar coming up. I hopefully will have this trade journal up today. It's actually pretty good. It's going to change a lot of things, give you instant answers around what's going on. But let's just focus on, first of all, what is actually happening and what we should be doing, focusing this week, right? And okay, for Joshua, it's probably going to be pretty obvious. We are looking for answers out of the consumer price numbers, right? This is the key part. Obviously, any US numbers affect more things than most tradable things like the major currency pairs, the indices, and everything else that flows from them. So this is like one of those nice, easy ones. You know exactly what we're looking for, and then we just prepare for it, right? So the other thing I would do as part of your sort of strategy to get organized is, I mean, you do isolate the key event that's going to give us potential direction for the next week or two. I know there's still, some of this geopolitical crap sort of going on with the US and Iran, but seems to have less of an impact just at the moment. If anything, it's just discombobulating momentum, and I'll show you that in the charts. We do have a couple of central bankers talking. Want to keep an eye on those punters. And then you come down through, like coming to Wednesday, right? So hopefully we get the answers from the US CPI numbers. That gives us dollar direction. When we've got dollar direction, things are much easier. And then with the numbers that are coming up after that, I mean, if you're watching the Aussie and Kiwi, you're probably looking at the Chinese numbers. You want these numbers to fit in with what the US numbers did. So if the US numbers were strong, you want these weak, right? Then you start to get a really decent move, and that's what we're looking for. What we've been getting is US numbers weak, and then the local numbers weak, and then you don't get the flow, right? So that flow is what we're looking for when we come through and look at trying to strategize how we're going to attack the week. So you got the CPI numbers. Then you come into Wednesday's trading. We do have PPI numbers. Now, they aren't anywhere near like as important as the CPI, but if these line up with the CPI, then it starts to build a bit of a picture, right? Keep an eye on all the US numbers. The Empire State Manufacturing Index, one of those key, well-respected numbers. You've got the Bank of Canada rate decision. Okay, no change expected. So it's going to come down to the statement, and you know how ambiguous they can be. You've also got Kevin Walsh testifying. These are all little things that we want to sort of just keep an eye on as we go through things. Then coming to Thursday, there's bits and pieces. Consumer inflation expectations, some UK numbers. Then you got some retail sales figures, Philly Fed manufacturing on Friday, right? So, and then you come into Friday and you got some housing numbers, industrial production numbers. So for me, the week really belongs to the US dollar. And this is really good for us because it gives us something to trade against. And if you're looking at the major currency pairs, and I've just redrawn some trend lines here, or if you're looking at the indices or commodities, when the dollar is in play and it's giving us clear answers, that's when things are good. Now, if you come back, just to reiterate, because, I mean, poor old Japan, I don't know what they're up to. They're getting pushed and pulled along. US military renews strikes on Iran. Is that really doing much? It's obviously nothing like what we had at initially, right? But if you want the oil price to go up, you kick things into gear, right? It's like oil was doing nothing, and then it's just gone up about $9, right? So it's nothing like where it was at $120 when this thing started, but it is actually having an impact. And you've got to recognize that. Just don't box it up like I do sometimes and go, yeah, we know. But, you can actually tell. Just come in and have a look, see what's happening with oil. That, like, I'm not looking to trade oil. I'm looking at that and going, yes, that geopolitical news is having an impact. So I've just got to put that into your mindset so you know what's going on. Right. Now, we've got US CPI numbers. So what you want to be doing is really getting tuned into where everything's going, right? Short term, long term, fine tune all the levels, So we can try and sort of piece together where the next potential move might come from the numbers. And if I just get up the daily charts there, let me just come back to, not that one, this one here, right? So you're coming into the CPI numbers, right? Now looking at what the forecast is. Okay, so they're looking for a big pullback, right? This is probably the oil price coming back off. Consumer price index a little bit lower. I mean, year on year, that's the sort of key numbers that we're looking for, right? So and then you're sort of working out the next part of the equation is, okay, is it stronger or weaker than the forecast, right? That's the first component. And then you're coming back into the charts to sort of work out, does anything really have clear direction? So we're just looking for which instruments are looking good. Like right now, I mean, I've just drawn some trend lines here so you can sort of see where the recent moves have been. Let me just get that pen, right? So Euro, big move down, as did most of these instruments. And then a slow, steady, cautious climb, whereas sterling sort of really charged back. Okay, that was the big sort of standout. Aussie, Kiwi was doing the same and then sort of joined in with sterling. So you're getting some sort of key moves there, right? But what would, if I was looking at these numbers now, the US CPI numbers, and they came out stronger, well, then there's nothing on the downside to hold sterling up, right? Pretty much the same as Euro and Aussie for that matter. Whereas Kiwi, well, it's still got that bid tone to it, right? You got dollar CAD sort of drifting to the downside. Makes sense, right? Oil is falling. You'd think dollar CAD would go down. So dollar CAD, weaker CPI numbers, right, works for the CAD, right? Stronger numbers works for Euro, Sterling, Aussie, leave dollar yen out of it. And you've got dollar Swiss breaking topside. So once again, stronger numbers, dollar Swiss up. And that'll push the, obviously, the dollar index up. And that's what you're doing. So you've just got your piece of paper on your desk, your blotter or your notepad, and you're just trying to keep track of, okay, so if the numbers are strong, which ones are doing this, which ones are doing that? The good thing about where everything is, we've got trend lines in vicinity, right? That makes it easier for us to determine where that entry level is, because if we've got no trend lines, a lot of the market pulls out and waits for that, right? You come back over into the equity indices, right? So you get weaker CPI numbers. Okay, you're going to see these things rally, right? But the good thing is, like the easiest trade is where we've got trend lines. If we got really strong US CPI numbers, well, there's going to be pressure on the downside, and we've got entry levels on the downside with those trend lines. Make sense?
Yep, makes sense.
Okay, so that's where we are, right? So just having a look, all you need to do is come back to your daily charts. Once again, you're not really redrawing all the trend lines all the time. You're just sort of sharpening them up. So, like if I looked at sterling, man, it's like bang smack in the middle of a range, right? Euro has got more of a downward bias still. Okay, the Aussie, it's dancing right on that trend line and looking for, this is what it's waiting for. It's waiting for the big number to drop to tell us whether we buy or sell Aussie against the dollar. So weaker US CPI numbers, okay, that's going to give the Aussie a little bit of a reprieve on the top side. Stronger US CPI numbers, potentially downside. So you're trying to match up your daily charts, the overall trend. I mean, the dollar index is still going up, but steady. Dollar Swiss up, dollar yen up, dollar CAD up. These other puppies, well, sterling's in the middle of the range. Aussie, I'd put it with sort of sterling, right? It is sort of in the middle, ready to go down. Euro is drifting lower, and Kiwi's in the middle of the range. So you're looking for the ones that do stand out. Aussie's got to be a standout. Sterling, it's right in the middle, and Euro downside is looking good long term, but we don't really have that clear sort of entry level. Right, you can actually, if I just come over here, you can actually draw a trend line from this point. I was actually just drawing a horizontal one there before. So you got this level here. It's like a pivot, horizontal pivot line, right? If I start to draw a trend line from here, all we're doing is really just highlighting that recent low, right? And you might put that there and just go, well, that's the start of the next trend line. So maybe that's it. That looks a bit more like the Aussie where it's right on a level as well. Okay. And that's pretty much it, right? When you are coming in, trying to work out what the strategy is for the week, you are really coming in and just having a look of, like, there's usually one key event. And I can tell you the CPI number outside the Fed is the key event the whole market waits for. And they will wait for the numbers to drop and then they'll make decisions, right? And a lot of that is to do with, they want to see the extremities of the numbers. They want to see, okay, how much is this stuff really impacting? You know, the US, Iran, the geopolitical situation. And then one of the smarter things you can do is let the numbers drop and then see how the impact is on the equity markets, right? That'll tell you how they're positioned. Like if we get weaker US CPI numbers and the equity markets aren't going up, I'll tell you what, that's a sign that they aren't going up, and you may have a risk-off situation and the dollar may rally, right? And that would be against what the CPI numbers are. So the answer is quite often, and this comes back to the global financial crisis, 07, 08, 09-ish, when that whole risk-on, risk-off sentiment came in. We actually watched the numbers dropped. We waited an hour for the US equity markets to move, then we traded, right? Completely opposite to what you would usually do. So that's where we are at the moment. And just to have a look at the markets right now, okay, the NASDAQ's up, but the other equity markets are down, right? And you've got Euro, Sterling, Aussie, Kiwi up and the dollar index up, which is only just marginally, mind you. And that's sort of where we are, right? And the dollar's going down against the others. So that's the opposite to what we would usually see in the market, right? I know the NASDAQ is a big component of where things go these days, and it's up, but everything else is down. That's a little bit of a mixed bag. This is a little bit different to that. So you're like, okay, I need to keep an eye on things. So as the US CPI numbers approach, check your follow the trail, see if it lines up, right? Now, if it doesn't necessarily mean there isn't a trade, but you want to see how the penny drops and see how, and then because once the numbers come out, then you can see how the market's positioned, right? The market's sort of positioned to me long dollars at the moment, right? Just having a look around, Euro, Sterling, Aussie sort of down, RBNZ giving the Kiwi a positive tone, dollar yen doing its stuff. The dollar's sort of just going up against a few things, right? So that's where we are with that, right? Any questions on that, guys?
No questions, but it's just getting it all to line up in one's head, and I'm getting closer to it every day.
Well, that's right, Kevin, and that is actually you hit the nail on the head. What we are doing as traders, when we come back to the market, we are constantly looking for things to just line up, right? That's exactly what we're doing. So and the main aim is we look at the numbers, and this is where you're sort of looking at things each day. Is going, okay, so what is lining up? Well, you can come down here to the market analysis and isolate instruments that are going up or going down, right? And then come back to where they are, see what the data is, like sort of just slowly piece it all together. Okay, and then you know what? As of sort of next week, right, we're going to be sort of really sort of firing on a whole range of things. There's a number of fix-ups coming here. I do have, like we've got this platform set up. It's going to have a lot of additions. I thought I'd just give you guys a bit of a bo peep. It's going to have a lot of dashboard settings, a bit more analysis. Your journal's going to be there as well as a bunch of other sort of key features. This is what we're just finishing off hopefully today, and then get you guys powering along with that. Right. So anyway, that's sort of where we are. The US CPI numbers are the main game for us. Right. So make sure you just go to medium, you come in, check the numbers, just have a look what the forecast is. Okay. I'll find out what the range of those expectations are as well. And I'll post those on the Discord. Always good to know what the range is. and then let it flow from here, because this, right, this will give us the answer for maybe not just this week, what happens for the following probably couple of weeks, right? If there's decent sort of level of variance. Don't forget, these are what we are forecasting. 3.8%. And the month on month, well, that's the sort of second number. It's really that year-on-year number that you want to be looking at. Okay? Any questions on that, guys?
Will you have this recording up almost straight away?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, you got it.
I'll get back over that.
We'll put the recording up. It'll come on to Discord. That's actually something I need to just stick into that page there. All right, guys, have a good one. I'll be online if you need me. Let's just see how this CPI number rolls out. This is usually the key event of the month, right? Because or every 4 to 6 weeks, the more so than the Fed, right? Because there's no ambiguity. It's just a number, and it tells us a lot about what's happening in the US, because that's what the central banks sort of gauge their policy on. All right, guys, have a good one. All the best.
Okay.
Cheerio.
Cheers, bud. Thank you.
Good one.
See you guys.